how often does your team meet as a team to not talk about business?
um, Once a week, and our focus is to talk about business. So
Cool.
yeah.
So that's the first problem is you're not giving your employees space to be human beings. And I would recommend I do this without my team present intentionally, where I tell my team, I want you meeting once a week. They call it SDR Coffee Talk. And so we do no meeting Wednesdays internally. And I think that would be a really cool thing to do for your team as well if you're not doing that. We have a day where no one is allowed to put internal meetings on their calendars. Believe it or not, we actually have our most productive days and our highest quota performance on Wednesdays. So correlation, causation, I don't know. So have a no meeting day where no one is allowed to do meetings. And then for my team, and you can do this whenever you want, they also have, they call it SDR Coffee Huddle. And they just talk about life. And they do it without me there, so there's no pressure that like, oh, I have to be some sort of self without Sam present. And I know, and they know that I want them to be their true authentic selves, but sometimes it's harder with the boss there.
Mhm.
So I would say have a half an hour once a week where no work talk is allowed. And what you're going to find from that is you're going to find organic, constructive conversations are going to come up and similarities. You know, we talked about shared, how we like to hire because of shared similar traits. What you're going to do is you're going to start forging bonds amongst the team organically, the same way you would in an office where someone is like tracking the Sharks game and they're like, oh, the Sharks just won. It's like, oh, you're a Sharks fan? No way, I love hockey. I played in high school. And then that's going to start spinning up and it's going to be really, really awkward at first. Fortunately, we're all salespeople, so we can deal with awkwardness, or if not, then we should learn to deal with awkwardness. So I'd say that's probably the first step your team could do is have one meeting once a week for 30 minutes where they just don't talk about work, period. Um, the next thing I would do, and you have a small team where you can easily do this, do you know the why of sales for each person on your team? And I can explain that a little bit more if you want me to.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up. We just had that discussion yesterday as a group. Like everyone was just kind of telling, challenging stories about their life, some personal, some professional. Just
Yeah.
kind of get the crux of like, your why factor.
Yeah, and this might be fun for us to do right now even. I don't know about you, Peter. I don't know about you, Brian. When I was a little boy, I did not want to be a salesperson. When I grew up, I wanted to be a lawyer and an astronaut and the president of the United States. So I was going to be the first ever space president. Um, so what'd you want to be when you grew up when you were little, Peter?
I had Asian parents, expectations be a doctor or a lawyer. So
Doctor, or lawyer, yeah. Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Love that. Brian, what about you?
Yeah, when I was growing up, definitely wanted to be some type of professional athlete, as you just like uh, young black parents, and so the way to get out of the hood is definitely play sports. Like that's just a natural thing.
Brian, are you playing pro ball right now?
Not even close. I'm like
Peter,
under 6 foot. No way.
Peter, are you operating on heart surgery right now?
No.
I disappointed my Jewish parents, and I say that in jest because my mom is actually on the line. So hi, Sue. To everyone, you can say hi to my mother on chat. But I also did not uh, make my parents proud in becoming a lawyer, and I hope my mom's still proud of me. Obviously, she's on the call. But the point is we're all in sales, right? And it's because we have that why. And so what I've done is I tie that why for everyone on my team when they have the worst days in the world. I tie their why back to that day. Hey, this really sucks. You're right. But why are you doing this? Are you doing this to deal with the getting hung up on, getting cursed out by your prospects about having no call, no shows to all of the meetings that you're setting? No. You're doing this so you can open up an animal sanctuary. You're doing this so you can move your parents out of the trailer park. You're doing this because you're the first person in your family to graduate from college. You're doing this because guess what? You just want to make a shit ton of money and there's nothing wrong with that. That's why we're in sales. And then what you can do is you can actually back into that and you can directly attribute the dollar amount per dial. So, Peter, what's your team's quota right now?
6 meetings a month.
Cool. 6 ops a month. And then if they hit quota, what's their bonus?
500.
500 per op or total?
So how it works is like we're paid based on the revenue size of the company. A.
Got it.
And B, if we go over 6, so let's say we hit 7, they get a $500 bonus.
Okay, so you could probably pretty quickly create a calculator that says each of these meetings, depending on the revenue size, is worth X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And then you can, from there, and I would encourage anyone to do this if you're leading a team, and if you're not leading a team and you're an IC, do this for yourself anyway, because this is the motivator that's going to happen. Is you can then say, this is the number of calls, this is the number of emails, this is the other number. We call them other activities, but that's LinkedIn, that's gifting, that's other social touches. The other activities, you can say, okay, how many of those does it take to get one meeting, right? And then you literally just built a calculator that is what is your inputs and what is the dollar amount from that input. So we calculated each call that my team makes. If you extrapolate that across, sure, you got the one call that hits, that gets you the meeting. You got the one email that hits, that gets you the meeting. Or you can say we've got X amount to do it. And so my team, each call is worth $3. So when that teammate says, I don't know if I can keep working today, I say, great, make one more call. And they're like, why? That's $3 you put in your bank account. Because if you say, yes, that one meeting, I only got it from that one cold call, that one thing is worth the $500 extra, then it's impossible to make that extra call that never connects. And it takes that extra call that never connects to keep going to get you there.